Really shows how strong they were. Bellarmine went up against Iowa and they lost 40-0. That's similar to the 44-0 score that Ohio State just came off against Kent. They're the lineups for tonight. And we'll start off Nick Bouzakis at number 125. He defeated the number 8 and 10 ranked wrestlers in that National Dual Invitational, was third in the Big Ten Championships last year. So Damian Ryan, who was 9-11 last season, although he was an NCAA national champion, which essentially is a club designation before Bellarmine was eligible for the Nationals. But that Centerville Elk boy, he's going to have his work cut out for him in this opening match. That was my alma mater. I had to throw that in there.
And he will. He only made one dual appearance last year against Campbell, so he's really getting thrown into the fire this season, getting a lot of opportunities. He went 9-11 total, and now he's going to have an opportunity to try to at least give Nick Bouzakis a little bit of pressure. Bouzakis number 3 on the rankings according to Intermath, the Tampa, Florida native. He's looking to try to control this one to start out for Ohio State.
Bouzakis also was the U23 freestyle national winner and has represented Team USA in freestyle competition, so he is definitely a top wrestler, probably the top wrestler that Damon Ryan will have to go against. But sometimes it's hard for Ohio State, as we see the tail of the tape there, to get opponents that are willing to come here to go against them. And I think Bellarmine is definitely helping their cause by facing this top competition. It can only help them get better as we are underway here with our 125-pound match. And Bouzakis immediately trying to go to the attack, as would be expected. And he picks up a 2-point takedown in the early going.
And he wanted to swing that leg over the first time, couldn't do it. This time gets all the way around for 3 points.
Certainly Damian Ryan would like to keep this as competitive for as long as he possibly can. And Bouzakis trying to establish control very early in the going as we are nearing the 1 minute mark elapsed in this opening period.
Bouzakis has 1 win coming from technical fall and 2 by pin. Love to try to get another fall tonight.
And a stall was called, and that's 1 point for Ryan. Bouzakis, actually, you could consider that beneficial, as he can go in the up position and then get another takedown, and you're basically trading 3 points for 1, which he has done there to make it 6-1.
And Bouzakis just showing that speed, Greg, quickly gets on top of Damian Ryan for another 3.
And now he'll start to try to break him down, although Ryan doing everything he can to keep from being in such a perilous position.
And Damian Ryan knows what it takes to go the distance. He lost by decision to Iowa's Dean Peterson, so he knows how to keep it close against tight competition.
Ryan was 8th in high school national competition, and a stalemate called this time. And so they will go back to the center of the mat. And Ryan again awarded that 1 point. Now they're in the neutral position, so once again, this will put Bouzakis in the position to try to get another takedown and add to his lead. Of course, if Ryan can keep it just as a decision rather than a major decision or worse, that could be considered a feather in his hat, but it's still very early on. Trying to keep Bouzakis from being able to get around, but look at that quick maneuverability, and that is another 3 points for 9-2.
And he showed it on that second takedown. Again, a third takedown, and he's just so quick. He tries to get down low and quickly spin around, and Ryan did a good job trying to keep him at bay. Finally cannot, and Bouzakis gets the 3.
See, it was just that quickness that made the difference. Now the penalty point to Bouzakis, as Ryan, knowing that the period is ending, is called for stalling. And that is the end of the first period. And Nick Bouzakis has very methodically built up a 10-2 advantage. And now he will begin the second period in the down position.
And he'll look to try to quickly escape, get that point, get back on the attack. He loved what he saw against Damian Ryan to get those 3 takedowns. Wants to just try to be blazing quick and keep Damian Ryan guessing.
Now let's see what Ryan can do starting from the up position here. Bouzakis is already in the position to gain an escape, which he does there. And that makes it 11-2, and now he can go right back to work, as he has been very successful at accumulating takedowns here, but he can't get in that time. Both wrestlers down on their haunches, sizing the other up. And again, you just see the superior quickness of Bouzakis, and there he gets his takedown again.
He always goes for that one leg, pulls it out, forces him to the ground, and just gets around, and Ryan can't do anything.
Very interesting to see what Bouzakis can do, building on last year. He was 3rd in the Big Ten championships a year ago. It certainly has to be considered one of the top contenders, potentially dangerous, called there.
And he's 5-1 on the season, Greg. His only loss coming at the Clarion Open to his teammate, Brendan McCrone. So other than facing his teammates, this guy knows how to beat everyone else.
I'm sure they've had a lot of competitions in the gym.
Oh, I'm sure
this one happened to count.
I'm sure it's great bragging rights.
And now once again, Bouzakis is all over Ryan. It looked like Ryan had a chance to maybe escape, but then he's right back on him. Down to 30 seconds left, and here again, he basically kicked him out, so we can try for another takedown here as they're starting to near that major decision category. And possibly a tech fall if he can't win the match by fall.
Be the first major decision for Nick Bouzakis this season.
And of course, from a team standpoint, if you can gain or prevent the other team from gaining as many points as possible, that could be a factor, although we don't necessarily expect it to be tonight. And it is 14-3 for Bouzakis at the end of the second period. And Damian Ryan crawls to the center of the mat. He looks like he's been put through a ringer already.
Oh, I'm sure when you face one of the top 3 in the weight class, it's always going to be a tough battle.
This time he starts in the down position, which saves him the trouble of being taken down, and now he just has to try to keep Bouzakis from turning him over and possibly putting him in position for that fall. And of course, he can accumulate the near fall points as well, but we have another stalling warning, so that makes it 15-3. It's the second stalling warning, and indicating that Ryan is perhaps just trying to run out the clock here. But all things considered, he has done a capable job. I'm sure he's learned a few lessons. And he can take back his Southern Conference season there. Once again, Bouzakis very quick, but not quick enough to get Ryan on his back. And we're into the final minute now. That may not seem like much to the fans, but that seems like an eternity when you're on the mat. And the escape makes it 15-4. And Bouzakis is going to have to go to work here to maximize the team score. You know he would like to gain at least another takedown. But really, Ryan, after he's been taken down, he's done a very good job not allowing Bouzakis to accumulate any more points against him. Trying to get in for that shot, but warded off. Again, gets him by the ankle and a takedown. Gets it up to 18-4.
And looking for that 1 point to try to get that tech fall.
But only 5 seconds left in which to get it. And the clock runs out but he did get that one final point to make it 19-4. So Bouzakis winning the match. 133, we've got Ben Davino for Ohio State going up against Corhorn for Bellarmine. And Ben Davino defeated Drake Tials of Iowa 10-4. He was the number 2 ranked wrestler in that National Duels Invitational. And he was 3rd in the Big Ten. He was outstanding performer there, and now he gets an early takedown, and he has got Corhorn in a very unenviable position.
And he's already up by 7 points, and this is where Ben Davino lives, Greg. He has 7 tech falls, most in a season by Davino. He's looking to make it his 8th with how quick he's going.
He's already rung up a very large portion, the lion's share of the points that he'll need to get to that tech fall, and we are barely gotten past the 1 minute mark. And finally Corhorn gets out of bounds. He had a 7-7 record last year, Corhorn, 6-6 the year before. Davino was 5-0 at the Clarion Open out of South Elgin, Illinois.
And it was his first title in his collegiate career, was the 2025 Clarion Open with a winning record of 5-0.
And he served notice that there could be many more to come. He gets that single leg shot. Still no control. As Corhorn's trying to hold him off, but not to be, as the takedown recorded. And that does it. So the last match, it took the entire match to get to 19-4. This time it only took 1 minute and 32 seconds.
And that now makes it 8 technical falls for Ben Davino, his most in a season, Greg. And
there is the lineup there, and Jesse Mendez, a 2-time defending national champion, bringing an unblemished record of 6-0 in against AJ Rallo, who was one of the top wrestlers for Bellarmine with a 33rd national ranking, and he was on the Southern Conference all-freshman team last year, and he is trying to come out and show that he is not overwhelmed by the task of facing Mendez, and he's trying to stay off his back here, and he finally slipped out. Takedown was recorded in the midst for Rallo to take a 3-0 advantage. So he's come out like he shot out of a cannon.
And that's what you have to do. You have to overwhelm Jesse Mendez, keep him on the back feet, force him to have to try to come to you. And that's what he's done so well at doing early.
He said he's trying to show that he's not going to be overwhelmed, and what better way to do that than to come out aggressively and take the lead.
Like you said, Rallo named to SoCon all-freshman team last year. He received the first individual ranking in program history when he was tabbed number 27 in the 141 weight class by Flow Wrestling back in January of this year. And he also earned an at-large bid to the NCAA championship, so he knows what it takes to defeat guys like Jesse Mendez.
And Mendez with a hard-won escape. I don't know if he knows how to beat somebody like Jesse Mendez, because I doubt he's gone up against a 2-time defending national champion before, but he certainly looks like he's trying to add that to his resume. And he's trying once again to go to the attack. Rallo, a 4-time Missouri State champion. And he might have a training table secret. He says his favorite meal is ice cream, so maybe that gave him some extra energy for this match.
Hey, you never know. I wonder what flavor of ice cream.
And there we go with a quick single leg shot there by Mendez. No control as yet, though. into the final minute of this first period. And there, finally, Mendez is able to consummate the takedown to take a 4-3 advantage. And I'm sure that probably lit a fire under him. Sometimes you don't want to wake up the proverbial sleeping bear by taking that early lead. But on the other hand, there's no point in holding it back. And he's going to kick him out here, so they'll even it at 4. And once again, Mendez trying to go for the takedown, but unsuccessful so far. Still no control. 13 seconds remaining, and Rallo has done a good job of keeping himself out of that vulnerable position. It looks like he might be able to wait out the first period clock. And he has, in fact. And I'm sure that if you told him he could be even after the first period, he wouldn't mind that.
No, not at all. Especially getting a takedown as well. Maybe he would have thought an escape or something of that nature, but to get a takedown on Jesse Mendez is huge. Now he'll be on the bottom to try to get another point.
Mendez defeated the number 2 ranked Brock Hardy of Nebraska in that National Duels Invitational. He also won a highly anticipated match against number 6 Anthony Enchamendia of Iowa State. He won 7-3, Mendez. So he's had some big wins already this year. And escape quickly here for Rallo as once again he moves into a advantage on the scoreboard at 5-4. And he's been pretty good at making Mendez work to take him down. And he gets inside of Rallo this time, takes him down, but has not yet gained control. There it is. And now he's starting to accumulate the near fall points as well. He's got him on his back trying to get that second shoulder blade down.
And a great job by Mendez. Opened it up, faked it, then went low, took him to the ground, got around to get to those ankles for the takedown.
So he gets 4 points for the takedown in the near fall. It's 11-5. And he has now gained the last 7 points in a row after having trailed 5-4 in the early going in the second period.
And like you said, Greg, sometimes you just need that fire lit under you.
Stalemate, they go back to the center of the mat. These great wrestlers, they thrive on competition. They don't want to just go out there and beat somebody without breaking a sweat. And Rallo has given him that. He's going to let Rallo out. And then Rallo tries to turn it right around on him, which sometimes is a good tactic when your opponent has kicked you out, but Mendez was prepared for it, and then he turned it back against Rallo for the takedown.
And Rallo tried to slip away, tried to turn his body, but Mendez there goes in a circle, finds the backside for another 3 points.
Sometimes when they kick you out for the 1 point, you feel like they might be surprised if you go right back at them like that. Don't give them even a moment. And he tried it, had some apparent early success, but Mendez was able to stem the tide and turn it around. Now we're down to 10 seconds remaining in the second period. And it appears that the period is going to end on that 14-6 score, as Mendez has successfly retaken control of the match. And they start the third in neutral position.
He's looking for that major decision currently.
Once again, he got in with that single leg shot. He's not been able to translate that into points as yet. Rallo, a very good defensive wrestler, but finally the takedown is completed. And that makes the score 17-6. Trying to gain some additional points, but a stalemate is called. And once again, we see that Mendez will be in a position of trying to gain those additional points to win the tech fall.
Be his third win by tech fall. Has 2 wins by tech fall, 2 by pin, and 1 by major decision.
Score 17-7. As again, Rallo is able to get that escape point. He gets in quickly on him, takes him down. Let's see if he can gain control. And now he not only has done that, but he's practically got him on his back with 45 seconds to go. As he tries to get that fall, he also has near fall points accumulating. And this should get it to the tech fall range. He would like to try to finish off the fall if he can. There's still a lot of time for Rallo to have to hold on in order to get out without the fall being recorded. But he's getting closer to it as we're down to 15 seconds. They wore the 4 near fall points to bring the final score to 24-7. But Rallo at least is able to ward off the fall. Nevertheless, after he led by 5-4 early in the second period, Mendez completely turned it around.
And he did exactly what he needed to do. The fire was lit underneath him by Rallo. He just immediately attacked, got that first takedown to go up 4-3. They were level going into the second period. But since then, Jesse Mendez showed why he is a 2-time NCAA champion and gets his 3rd win by tech fall.
And so we move on to the 149-pound weight class. And we have Ethan Stiles for Ohio State going up against Zach Cowan for Bellarmine. There you see the records. Ethan Stiles, a sophomore, with the 6-2 mark, going up against Zach Cowan.
And Ethan Stiles transferred from Oregon State. They'll travel out to Corvallis later in the season where he was an NCAA qualifier.
Cowan was the first Southern Conference Bellarmine wrestler to be named to their preseason all-conference team. He's got a little bit of a problem right now as a leg attack takes him down, and the 3 points for Ethan Stiles. He was probably just as soon happy to get out of having to hop on his right foot there, and he makes an escape to make it 3-1 now for Stiles.
Zach Cowan knows what it takes to win by major decision or more. He was tied for second on the team last year with 3 tech fall wins. So he's won by big before. Now he's just got to claw his way back early in this first period.
You know, this time he'll probably settle for not losing by tech fall or fall. Stiles, an NCAA qualifier, an All-American last year. Was a Pac-12 runner-up, as you mentioned, in his prior career before transferring to Columbus. Trying to get inside, going for that attack again, but once more warded off. And we're midway through this opening period. Wrestlers trying to size one another up here and essentially in neutral position.
Both just trying to go low. A great job by Zach Cowan to just stay and fend off Ethan Stiles, not allowing him to quickly go in for the takedown.
Stiles was 6th place at the NCAAs at Oregon State. He was only the 6th Oregon State wrestler in history to attain All-American status. But right now, he has got his hands full to this point. This Cowan proving to be a very stubborn and determined foe.
Cowan looking to win his second bout in a dual match, defeating Tommy Curran of NIU by decision 15-13.
He's, for the most part, keeping out of range of Stiles' shots, but now he's got him to the mat and gets the takedown with just 12 seconds remaining in that first period. So that was a big 3 points there for Stiles. struggling to his feet. Stiles, with this little amount of time left, will not kick him out, and he'll just hold on and prevent the escape point from being recorded. And they'll go into the second period with Stiles in the up position.
And if you're Stiles, take a little bit of a deep breath. You were up close 3-1. You get that late takedown with 12 seconds left in the first period to give yourself that 5-point cushion.
Stiles was also runner-up at the Pac-12 championships for Oregon State. He also wrestled for Nebraska, so he's been well-traveled. There is the escape, and he comes right back at him, trying to gain an early advantage. And they've been pretty even in neutral position here, although Stiles was able to gain that late takedown in the first period. If Cowan could return the favor, he could get right back into this. When you're Bellarmine, you've got a couple of very, very capable wrestlers, and you're maybe looking at winning a couple of individual matches and being competitive in all of them.
Yeah, they're looking up the weight class, 197 heavyweight, a couple guys who they feel like can really push Ohio State. But if you want to make this dual meet close, you have to win those lighter weight classes.
Cowan dangerously high there, trying to keep from being rolled over on his back. Stiles trying to get him there, and now he's got him in some trouble. He rolled through it, at least for the time being. See the official down very closely, and the 3-point takedown is awarded. And that makes the score 9-2, no additional points. But there, Cowan threw Stiles there for a moment, was not able to follow up. Ten seconds remaining. And the whistle with a mere 2.1 seconds remaining. And they called stalling on Stiles. And they run out the remaining 2 seconds in the second period. So it's still competitive here at 9-2 for Stiles. And now he'll start in the down position.
Now look to try to get that escape point and quickly go on the tack against Cowan.
And he's just going to kick him out. Cowan knows that he's going to accumulate points. He's got to try to do it, starting to build from a takedown, which even though that'll be difficult, it shows he's thinking about winning still, and that shows that he's got some moxie and some confidence, which is a good sign, even against a wrestler as accomplished as Stiles. And now for a moment he had him, and still trying to finish that takedown, and he does to make it 10-5. Now he kicks him out again. He's going to try to do it again.
And like you said, just quickly getting to Stiles, had him on his head, turns him over, gets around to his back for the 3 points, and now you got to go quick if you're Cowan. Got to really attack Stiles.
He's got 1 minute to go. He'd like to keep this to a decision rather than a tech fall, but he's still in a position where he's still in contention here. And he's trying to not just wrestle defensively. And he's already shown the capability of gaining a takedown. If he could do it again, he would be within range, especially if he could follow that up and gain some near fall points. But he's running low on time now. That there, he gets another one. And it's 11-8. Cowan still not satisfied.
And he needs the takedown and try to get a near fall. You're down by 4 points.
The escape there, that's crucial. He can't tie it up with the takedown, but he could get close, and then if he could roll him to the back, he could gain the points he needed to win. But looking like he's going to run out of time. But if you can go down to the final second and still have a shot, that says a lot for your effort.
Yeah, what a job by Zach Cowan. Heard the Bellarmine bench just cheering him on. Unable to do it, but close all the way to the end.
That's the closest they've come. That Ohio State keeps their unblemished record. And we'll take a break here at the Covelli Center. But if you can avoid that situation, you have a chance to be successful. Let's see how he's able to do against Brandon Cannon. That might well be his approach. Say, hey, if I can get an opening, let's see if I can get a fall out of this. But Cannon, having none of that early on with a quick takedown.
And just trying to roll him over on his back. Good job by Pretel to flip back over as Cannon attacking very quickly.
And 5 points and then the one escape point for Pretel. And as he said, his record would not seem to indicate that he is a conservative wrestler. Let's see if maybe he will try to dictate some things in the manner that we saw A.J. Rallo come out and try to do against Jesse Mendez. Not being at all intimidated by the caliber of his opponent. But Cannon once again gets a takedown. Make it 8-1 for a moment. The no control was issued, but then he gained control. And quickly that 7-point advantage. And the one thing is when you win a lot of matches by fall, you can fall behind in terms of the points. You can be down big. But if you can make that one move,
yeah,
you can
get him
turn
on
the
his
whole thing
back,
around.
possibly get him in a cradle, whatever it takes to get him in the fall. Like you said, Gray, doesn't matter. You can be down 12-2.
That's why you got to be careful with a wrestler like this. I'm sure that Cannon is aware of that.
I'm sure if you're Pretel, you got to be thinking that might be your only chance to get a win against a top 5 wrestler in the weight class in Brandon Cannon.
Exactly. And another takedown, plus the 2 near fall points. So if he's going to do it, he's going to have to make his move quick because the score is mounting. Cannon has come out like the proverbial cannon here.
Be the 4th win by tech fall for Brandon Cannon. He's tied for his most major decision wins this season with 3.
Still quite a bit of time remaining, 50 seconds in this first period. Of course, the first period is the longest. It's more of a battle of attrition. And still a minute to go. It's Cannon plotting a way to try to add to his 13-2 advantage. Pretel has been warned for stalling, and you can tell that's what he's trying to do, is just get to the end of the period and try to regroup.
And he's got 5 seconds to try to do it.
It's a long 5 seconds, it can seem, but there finally the buzzer goes. Buckeyes get their choice, and Cannon takes the down position. Those choices tell a lot about the strategy of the wrestler. He feels confident that he can get the reversal and then go right back to work. As he nearly did, but he still has not established control. And another stalling warning on Pretel. And that penalty point will bring the score to 14-2.
Getting close to that technical fall. If he can escape here and get that takedown.
Pretel holding on for dear life, knowing that that could just about mean the jig is up if Cannon is able to escape and effect a reverse. But he has done it there. That makes it 16-2. And he's just knocking on the door of the tech fall as the near fall points being accumulated.
1 minute remaining second period.
With still a minute remaining in the second period.
Just trying to use that left arm and get Pretel on his back.
That's it. So the 4 near fall points brings the score to 20-2 and the match to a conclusion. A tech fall for Brandon Cannon over Jeb Pretel, and Ohio State continues their perfect mark thus far
in the Opens. He finished second the freshman division at the Patriot Open a season ago. He got that fall. He's feeling confident going up against Patty Gallagher.
Gallagher, a product of the St. Ed's program, which is one of the top wrestling programs in Ohio. And they're starting out in the center of the mat, and it is first attack being made by Noah Hall. And they are both looking for opportunities here. Not so much just sizing the other wrestler up as their feet are moving and active. And we already saw that one shot attempt that was made by Hall.
The best way to really try to get an opportunity of a win against one of these Ohio State wrestlers, I think you got to go back to Rallo, what he did with Mendez. You got to get off to that quick start and really hold on to it. You don't want to be down against Ohio State, but if you can quickly get them off their feet, get that takedown, and just keep going, there's an opportunity.
This time it's Gallagher trying to get inside, but it's unable to. Hall with a height advantage and a reach advantage on Gallagher, which could serve him well or not if Gallagher's able to get inside on the attack, as we saw him attempt a moment ago. And now he's got the single leg. And he gets the takedown just before Hall could get out of bounds. And then a big early 3 points for Patty Gallagher.
Great job by Patty Gallagher. Had that leg, gets all the way around, gets him by his waist, sets him right on the edge of the circle before going out of bounds to get those 3 points.
Gallagher was 2-2 at those national duels invitationals, and he won just 5-2 in his matchup against Kent State. But as we've seen today, there could be some individual wrestlers on teams such as Kent State or Bellarmine that can give you trouble.
Yeah, only defeated Reese Stevenson 5-2 by decision. Get this though, Greg. Patty Gallagher 8-2. Both those losses, sudden victory losses. So he fights all the way to the end.
That's a very good quality to have. You get to higher and higher levels of competition. Forcing him to the mat and gets the takedown. Now going for more. 23 seconds, still time to get his shoulders to the mat.
And he's got to get that right leg around to try to get him fully on his back. He had that right arm around the neck. He'll get some near fall points. Great job by Patty Gallagher.
And he gets 4 points out of that exchange to take a 10-1 advantage. But again, we continue to credit Bellarmine in the fact that there have been several instances where the Ohio State player had him down, had him on his back, and was trying to go for that fall, but the Bellarmine wrestlers not allowing it.
Yeah, just pushing Patty Gallagher away. He used that arm, pushed him off of his body. He still had that arm, but couldn't wrap the leg around to try to maybe get in that cradle. Great job by Noah Hall defending well to just allow some near fall points and not the pin.
That's a point of pride for any wrestlers to not get pinned. And Ohio State has not recorded a victory by fall as yet. Here's an escape point. Quickly, Gallagher is right back in. And gains the takedown before they end up tumbling out. So now it is 13-2, and once again you see that strategy of you kick out your opponent in confidence that you can gain a takedown and essentially trade 3 points for one and possibly more once you get him down on the mat. And you see him doing it again. And that makes it 13-3, and once again the single leg. Gallagher saw in the beginning it took him a little time for both wrestlers to really find the openings, trying to look for a probe for weaknesses. Now Gallagher more and more aggressive as he gets another 3-point takedown for a 16-3 margin.
Looking for 2 more points to get that tech fall. He has 4 wins by tech fall, so it'd make it number 5 on the season. Pat Gallagher very good at quickly getting to those 15 points.
And a takedown brings the final score to 19-4, the third such result, and a tech fall. And after it looked like things were maybe sizing up to be a fairly competitive match, Gallagher really took control.
And what a job by Gallagher. Faked him out, went low twice, got him on his knee.
And Bellarmine, at the start of the match, had not settled on Cale Miller or Tyler Martinez. And Odell had been one of their top wrestlers at the 174. Kharchla with a 3-point takedown.
Great job by Kharchla, just immediately getting on that backside, quickly getting the takedown.
3-time NCAA qualifier. He finished in 7th place at the 2022 NCAAs, for which he was accorded All-America status.
Went 0-2 in the NCAA championships a year ago for an overall record at the NCAAs of 6-5, but finished 4th in the Big Ten championships last year, winning 3 out of 5.
Cale Miller was 7-4 last year. He was taken down by Kharchla. He was a 2-time Illinois state qualifier.
Caleb Miller's and Grant Odell lost by tech fall to Patrick Kennedy of Iowa in his first dual meet, trying not to have that happen again after a recent 8-6 decision against NIU Tommy's Bennett.
Escape point to 6-2. Grant Odell, who had wrestled at 174 and picked up that earlier victory. He was 33-6 last year. He was really one of their top wrestlers, but he did not answer the call tonight. And a takedown to make it 9-7 for Kharchla. He defeated a number 4 ranked Christopher Mintz of Nebraska in that National Duels Invitational. He has an overall NCAA tournament record of 6-5, and another escape point for Miller. But it's fool's gold. You get that 1 point, and then they're right back in trying to get more as that single leg shot by Kharchla. He still has that left leg, and he gets the takedown to make it 12-3, and it adds up very, very nicely. You get those 3 points versus the 3 escape points for Miller, 4 takedowns for Kharchla in this match.
And Cale Miller really on the back foot, 1 foot inbounds as Kharchla tried to bring him back, unable to, pushed out.
Kharchla, one of 6 Ohio State wrestlers in the lineup tonight that are ranked in the top 5 in the nation in their respective weight classes. And he is showing that kind of form here so far. thoroughly in control as once again he tries to break down Miller. But the buzzer sounds before he can really go to work. And the score 12-3 at the end of the opening period.
Now go down on the ground, try to quickly escape, go up by 10, and then add on that takedown. He wants his 4th tech fall of the year, and a little bit to get that, but it could quickly happen.
Miller would like to keep him on the ground, otherwise he gets the escape as he does there, and now he can continue to add to it because he has been so adept at the takedowns. If Miller could have stayed on top of him, at least he could have kept him from being able to orchestrate further takedowns, which he does there with some more quick maneuverability to make it 16-3. And another escape, as that has been the pattern of this match, and they're out of bounds again. And we're again coming up against the 15-point requirement for the tech fall.
Just needs that takedown to get there.
He has been having very little difficulty in accumulating the takedowns, and there it is. So with clock-like regularity, Kharchla does the job, and 19-4, that's been the favorite score tonight. And Ohio State gains a tech fall victory as they continue to dominate against Bellarmine. So he was kind of a local hero, and he stayed in state at Bellarmine. We'll see how he fares against Caden Smith.
And if you're Gavin Ricketts, this is the bout where you think you can get it done against the redshirt freshman from Utah and Caden Smith.
Couple of matches that we've seen after an intermission that maybe we thought Bellarmine would have a chance to fare better. Ohio State has really taken care of business. And let's see what happens on this occasion. They're still trying to size things up, and Smith ended up throwing Ricketts to the mat with a show of strength and leverage, but no points as a result. And we're nearly 1 minute in. And again, Ricketts sent to the mat, but he's right back up.
Both these wrestlers feel evenly matched, just looking for that first opportunity to strike.
This crowd here on edge, just waiting for something to happen. And so far, they have remained in neutral position. Looking for that opening.
Fishback, who usually wrestles in the 184 weight class, I'm sure he's excited, Greg, for next Friday as they host his former team, NC State. I'm sure he would love a look at them.
Once again, Smith kept out by Ricketts. We're into the final minute of the opening period. Ricketts, except for a couple of times when he's been thrown to the mat, but clambered right back to his feet for the most part. He has done a good job of just keeping this neutral. And once more, Ricketts spins away. He's down on the mat, but right back up. Smith has not been in a position to really follow that up. Once he's gotten him down ever so briefly, and that is the end of the first period. So not a whole lot of action in that period. we'll see whether either of the wrestlers is able to gain any valuable insight on their opponent to try to put to use here. And they'll get out of that neutral position now, and Ricketts will be down on the mat, and Smith in the up position to begin the second period. Smith trying to neutralize Ricketts and keep him down on the mat, and maybe he can go to work a little bit more effect than when they were both on their feet in that opening period. And he looks like that is his intent.
Just trying to get that leg and get him on his back.
Thus far without success. But he's still working at it, and sometimes it's a process. You have to go through the series of moves to bring about the end result, and if you try to force it, you can end up compromising your position. 1 minute left in the second period. We still have a 0-0 score.
And currently, stalling warning, but Kayan Smith has that ride time. So if it came down to it, Greg, where we end 3, well, it would be awarded for Ohio State and Kayan Smith. He's got over a minute of ride time. Haven't had to say ride time a whole lot tonight, not been a factor.
But that certainly could be crucial. But here now trying to get this escape point. But Ricketts had his left leg locked and aware that 1 point could be important. Smith is all over him. He's not kicking him out this time, that's for sure.
An official time saw some thrown on the mat.
So the wrestlers will go and get a coaching session here.
Bo Jordan talking with Kayan Smith, associate head coach Jay Jaggers as well. And some legends on the sideline of Ohio State wrestling. Can't ask for better assistant coaches and a coaching staff in general for these players. So coach's challenge by Bellarmine, first of the night from either side.
And this could, again, as we said, possibly be important to the outcome of the match. I would think that on the Ohio State side, they're really thinking that maybe he's got to pick it up a little bit here with a 0-0 score. They have to feel that they have the capability of working some things effectively. But as of yet, Ricketts has been able to keep any damage from being done. And on the other hand, Bellarmine, they have much more defensive-oriented approach, but once you get close to the beginning of the third period, that could change too.
Of course, ride time a factor, minute and a half for Ohio State and Kayan Smith.
Yeah, they know that they trail in that ride time department, so they can't just try to run the clock out.
If you're Gavin Ricketts, the best case scenario is you at least get that point. So if you can't take down the ride time, you escape and have a point in hand. That would be huge for them.
That's what we saw very recently before this break, that Ricketts made a break for it, trying to get that escape, and Smith held on for dear life, knowing that that was a crucial situation. Of course, knowing the situation is very important out on the mat, because we've seen many times throughout this match that the Ohio State wrestlers are happy to give up the escape point to come back with a takedown, but that wasn't the case throughout the entire first period when both wrestlers were on their feet and there were no points that were recorded.
As you can see from your TV screen, head coach Jay Jaggers just having a very heated but civilized conversation with the officials, and in the background, head coach Ned Shuck just kind of listening in as Ohio State pleading their case. This is a long challenge.
And the crowd, impervious to it, is they're enjoying the rendition of YMCA, and the wrestlers are trying to stay in the zone here. It's just now we got Ned Chuck over there getting explanation.
And both these sides just trying to figure out what's going on now.
It's a long, lengthy discussion.
And they are, Jay Jaggers just walked back over there, and Chuck is kind of like raising his hand, and the officials kind of like waved off Jaggers, and this is really a heated debate.
Didn't really see anything,
yeah.
But they look. They did award a penalty point to Ricketts, so he's up 1-0.
I'll tell you what, that was massive, and if you're Jay Jaggers in Ohio State, you recognize that, because even with ride time now, the advantage for Ricketts.
Yeah, we were saying, and now he's got another point for escape. And so now he is in prime position to try to win this match.
And he's just stalling a little bit here, just trying to run out this clock.
And it appears that that's exactly what will happen as this second period ends the way the entirety of the first was conducted, with the wrestlers on their feet and not really pressing anything or succeeding in pressing anything. And so now,
well, you need the escape here, then you would have the ride time for another point.
Let's see how hard Ricketts contests this escape. And he is not giving it up easily, but finally pushes him out. That makes it 2-1. Keeping in mind that ride time advantage for Smith. But he's still down a point. So that penalty point that was awarded after that long consultation and review stands as the difference at the moment. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. So this is the first, maybe the second case where we've had some real drama.
Could maybe go into sudden victory.
Zach Cowan took Ethan Stiles relatively down to the wire. They're down to the final minute of regulation.
Kane Smith going to try to be aggressive here. You don't want to have to go into sudden victory if you can help it.
Well, he knows he's got to accomplish something. And he doesn't have a lot of time to do it in, especially because they've been up on their feet for much of the match, and neither wrestler has been able to
if I'm Gavin
translate
Ricketts,
that to points.
I'm stalling out if I'm Gavin Ricketts, doing whatever he can to get this to the end of the third period.
Well, he's made it tough for Smith to generate any points in neutral position, and he's really going to give it everything he's got, and he's got another 15 seconds separating himself and Bellarmine from their first individual match victory. The crowd is urging Smith on, but he's rapidly running out of time. And that's it. Not a big sense of urgency there at the end, but the ride time will equal it. So this is it. We do go into sudden victory.
And first point score will win the bout, so whoever can win this from neutral.
And there you see Ricketts now, we did not see throughout the match, go into the attack, trying to do something here. There's nothing to wait for.
And you can see the excitement from our vantage point for the Bellarmine bench. You can just tell the coaches, the wrestlers just all standing up, cheering for Ricketts as he looks to try to get the first points on the board as a team for Bellarmine.
And that escape point was very important for Smith to get it back to 2-1. Now he goes down for the shot, but is unable to establish control.
And great recovery by Ricketts, just getting back up, not allowing Smith to get to his leg.
The final minute. Both wrestlers have been rather conservative. Haven't seen a lot of really concerted attempts to go on the attack. Hence reflected in that 2-2 score. But there, Ricketts tried to get in.
And he wanted that shot, quickly went in, then backed out, thinking maybe Smith had a chance.
They kind of look like they're holding each other up right now. This is taking a lot out of both of them. Stalemate call. Sometimes it maybe looks like they're not doing a whole lot, but it definitely is taxing physically, especially into an extra period.
And if you're Ricketts, the longer this goes on, the longer you got to feel like Ohio State has the advantage. I would want to try to make a late lunge.
And there goes the horn.
Now we'll head on over to overtime. So they'll have two 30-second periods with each wrestler getting an opportunity to start on top. Any net riding time will win. So ride time, a massive factor in both these tiebreaker 30-second possibilities.
Let's see how each wrestler approaches this strategically, especially the ride time being a factor, trying to prevent that escape point. And he does keep Smith on the mat for the moment, trying to toss him out of bounds. 10 seconds. Finally, they're out.
And a great job by Ricketts. Collects so far 23 seconds of riding time. That's massive.
And he kept Smith from escaping when he appeared to be on the verge of it.
Ricketts was so close, almost had the takedown, just couldn't get around.
And tries to spin out that roll. Once again to the mat. And now they will go to their second overtime period.
Well, now you have to ride him for 30 whole seconds to even get back to neutral. What a job by Gavin Ricketts, holding on to Smith for all 30 seconds. Ricketts feeling comfortable now.
And starting at a neutral makes it much less conducive to accumulating ride time. Now the shot, but again, Ricketts tasting victory now.
And just got to hold him off, and he's got this win.
Trying to get in, but not really getting too close to pay dirt there. Smith, and that's going to be it. And Bellarmine will not leave empty-handed.
Now they'll have one more. There's 2:30 seconds. And never mind, that will do it.
And the Bellarmine team, they erupted with that victory. And major credit there is due Gavin Ricketts.
Geog, 6-1 overall, 1-1 in duels.
From Upper Arlington.
But I went to St. Ed's.
Yep. And of course, that's where top wrestlers go in the state of Ohio. And a quick takedown there for Geog to make it 3-0.
Well, that's where top athletes go. St. Edward's, what an athletic program that is.
But wrestling in particular, something they'll sweep practically an entire district. And then Andrew Lieber from the Toledo area, where he actually was a lacrosse player, as well as an outstanding wrestler, a 3-time state qualifier.
Went to Toledo St. Francis de Sales in high school.
He's the one who said his favorite movie's Rocky IV, and maybe he's get some inspiration because it's got to feel like facing Ivan Drago going up against Ohio State.
Well, you know what happens in Rocky IV? Figures out the way to win.
Yeah, well, that's what he's going to have to do. Trailing 3-0 early. Of course, Ivan Drago is leading on points, too, until the very end. Stalling. Lieber now he's got a headlock on, but then again it exchanges to Geog.
And Geog just staying in bounds. That left foot holding on.
Still a minute and 10 seconds and counting in this first period, so it's going to be hard to run the clock out.
1 minute remains, first period, 1 minute.
But Lieber is not really allowing Geog much room to accomplish anything for the moment. He's going to have to try to do something active to get him on his back, if possible. Finally, the stalling on Geog as they go back to the middle of the mat.
Just couldn't get him flipped over, couldn't have an opportunity at it, so the stalling was called against Ohio State. And he'll give the automatic escape to Andrew Lieber.
And that makes it 3-1.
30 seconds remaining in the period. 30 seconds.
And almost getting that escape. But no control was established there.
Official time.
An official time as the headgear came unsnapped. And this appears to be another match very similar to the last one we saw that was more of a endurance test. And Bellarmine's Gavin Ricketts was able to win that endurance test. That's the end of the first period. And now we go to the second period. And it will be Lieber in the up position. Trying to keep Geog from a quick escape. And finally, he goes out of bounds. And a penalty point was awarded for stalling. And it's now 4-1. Geog awarded that point.
That Chuck not happy about it, kind of saw him cross his arms on the sideline.
And once again, trying to keep Geog from getting that escape. And he does keep him off his feet, and then almost was able to turn him over and continuing to work him over here. With a minute and a half remaining in the second period.
Just on top, looking to try to get that takedown and establish control.
Lieber going through the checklist of all the moves, all the series of moves to try to get Geog in a vulnerable position, but as has been really the case all night, it's been difficult to do that. And that's why we've seen a dearth of pins. And now Geog working on left leg of Lieber, and almost it got entangled one with another before a stalemate was called.
Both had an arm on a leg of each other, and like you said, just try not to create a pretzel down there.
They were doing a pretty good job of it. Just under 40 seconds remaining in the second period. Trying the leg attack to get him down again. Lieber seems to be much more comfortable wrestling down on the mat rather than on his feet. That's where he's most effective. And Geog still a real handful to try to do anything with. Penalty point, though, is awarded. That makes it 4-2. As we're into the final second countdown of the second period. And that's it. So it is still very competitive going into this final period. And Lieber got up and he is very, very enthusiastic. He gestured over to his team saying, "We got a shot at another one here."
Takedown puts you up. Only 7 seconds of ride time for Geog, so that can quickly be nullified.
And again, Lieber on top. And he's been hard to get off. And finally the whistle. Stalling warning. Penalty point to Geog. Most of the points have been via penalty points, it appears, in this match.
Takedown here would tie it up. 8-second ride time would give him the winning point. Can't allow the escape.
No question that Lieber's been most effective when he's on top of Geog. Trying to work him and maybe just break him down little by little. Although Geog has been extremely stubborn. Now he's got Lieber in trouble. Trying to turn him, get that second shoulder blade on the mat. And when you're on top, if you overcommit, then you can end up on your back in a hurry. No control yet with a minute remaining. Crowd getting more and more anxious, wanting to see Geog finish this off. But Lieber is not having it. Finally the stalemate.
And neither was the Bellarmine bench. The entire bench was